Joined by Delaware head coach Monte Ross to his left is Brian Johnson to his right. Juwan Carter will start with an opening statement from Coach Ross before we open up for questions.
Well, before I start with my basketball opening statement, I just want to, you learn a lot from kids, and they always have an expression spoken from the mouth of babes. I have an 11-year-old son that came to me, and he reads the papers, he reads everything. And he read in the Richmond paper yesterday or the day before where they had the preview that talking about the Old Dominion Monarchs, and said the Monarchs had swept Delaware this season. And I have no idea who wrote it or what it was, but you know, that's an 11-year-old who was very, very astute and very in tune to, you know, what's going on. And he said, "Daddy, that's wrong. Why would somebody write that?" I said, "Just, I have no idea. That's just the way things go." So thank you for allowing me to digress for a minute there. The basketball game was a very hard-fought and well-played, I think, game. I thought you had two teams that really got after one another for the third time this year. And every time that we go up against them and they go against us, it's quite a battle. And I thought these guys to my left and right really I can't say enough about how proud I am of their effort, not only in this ball game, but all year long. I think it's a credit to them, and I just said that, you know, I can lay my head down at night and not worry about getting a late-night phone call about somebody getting in trouble or doing something that they have no business doing, and that's rare in today's college athletics, but I think it's a credit and a tribute to the seniors that we have in our locker room, their core values and the character. It's just tremendous, and it's what college athletics is all about. And I can't tell you how blessed I am to coach a group of guys that I have an opportunity to coach. And I know it's overstated, and a lot of coaches say it when they, you know, get up there. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say it publicly, the way I feel about these guys that I have the opportunity to mentor. Time's yours.
Coach, you mentioned that matchup. What is it about these two teams that lead to these battles?
I don't know. I think it might be just that, I tell you one thing, I think both of us play extremely hard. Both of us have a emphasis on defense. And I think I see a lot, and I don't know if this has anything to do with it, I think I see a lot in Old Dominion in terms of what I would like our program to get to. By no means are we there yet. But I think, you know, their emphasis on defense, their ability to pound the glass is, they're going to be a tough out in the NCAA tournament. And I'll really enjoy watching them and, you know, seeing some other coach have stress and anxiety with Frank Hassel getting another offensive rebound or Ben Finley getting another offensive rebound. I'll be glad it's somebody else.
Coach Ross, just kind of following up on that, you've been around teams that were very tough outs in March. Is it experience? Is it defense? Is it all those things that Old Dominion brings that you think is going to make them so difficult?
I think experience is a big deal, especially when you're under the bright lights of the NCAA tournament. I think the other thing that you touched on is defense. In these games, in these CAA tournament games, as well as NCAA tournament games, I think it's going to be rare that you're going to see teams score 70, 80 points. It's always going to be, in my opinion, the team that puts an emphasis on defense is going to have the opportunity to be successful, just because, you know, there's a certain anxiety, tightness, different feel in a tournament setting where it takes you some time to get your legs up under you. So you have to be able to hold that other team down with defense until you get your offensive legs up on you. But, these guys are going to be a tough out. George Mason's going to be a tough out because they have that same type of formula in terms of playing defense, and they have some experience. That's big. That plays a big part in terms of you being successful and being able to play multiple weekends in March.
Hey, Monte, right here. Obviously you guys knew that you could match up well and play well with these guys because of the regular season. The first half, you guys are up by 9. You're doing well. You're doing well right through the second half. It's 35-35. What happened after that enabled them to be the better team down the stretch and be the team that won the game?
Well, I think one of the things that happened, Kev, was the fact that they got 5 offensive rebounds in the first half, and the ones that they got didn't really hurt us. The offensive rebounds, I believe they got 8 in the second half. Those hurt us in terms of they being able to put it right back into the basket. We got some big stops along that run, 10 minutes or less to go in the game. Got some big stops, but they got those offensive rebounds and put it back. And then the other thing was, I don't know how fluid we were against their zone in the first half, but we were holding them to 1 shot in the first half. And I think, our bugaboo in the first half was we had 10 turnovers. I thought that's what allowed them to really, and I hate to use the term, but they hang around a little bit, or I guess us hang around or have the same point total that they did. But I just think, basketball is an ebb and flow game. They're going to make the runs. We made runs. They made a run there, and I thought we had another run in us. And we actually, I know we cut it to 7. I think we actually cut it to 6 at one point late there, maybe with the ball and a chance to cut it.
Devon's three-pointer.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, I mean, their length is a problem in terms of their matchup zone. They do a great job with it, and when you have, Kent Bazemore, who may be listed at 6'5", but his wingspan has to be close to 7 feet, 7'4", something like that. Ben Finney, Frank Hassel, those guys are just so long, and it causes a little bit of problem and that little bit of stretch.
Yeah, it also looked like down the stretch when they were scoring points on a regular basis that they were getting close to the basket, that they were getting closer to the basket that they were before. Was that a fear that you guys had? Was that something that you knew that they were capable of, and that needed to be something that didn't happen?
Well, yeah, we knew they were capable of it for sure, and I think we were trying to stop it. It's much easier said than done. But you know what? Jamel, Kelvin, Hakeem McCullough, those guys fought like crazy in there. And I'm just so proud of the effort that I think one of the biggest compliments as a coach that you can get is, when people tell you how hard and how tough your team is. And I take those things to heart because that has nothing to do with skill. That's all about, heart and the willingness to do what the coach asks you to do. And these guys are just tremendous and terrific.
For Juwan and Brian, it seemed like the second half you guys had a harder time really getting into your offense and your sets and just getting easy. You had a hard time getting those easy shots. Why was that? What were they doing?
I think they played well defensively. They changed up the defense a few times. They gave us a few different looks. And in their length in the zone, we wanted to drive gaps a little bit, and we did have a lot of opportunities. We had some missed looks, but I think that their length and them changing defenses played a big part. But when we had the shots to knock them down, we didn't, and we had a few turnovers, but when we got the opportunities, we didn't really seize them.
I mean, along with what Juwan was saying, I think their length bothered us in the second half. As well as he said, we had open looks. They just didn't go in tonight. Some of the shots that we usually make, some of the threes that we have to hit in a tournament like this, and they just didn't go in.
Hey, Brian. As I said to Coach Ross, I mean, you guys knew you could play with these guys, and you knew that at halftime, and you knew that throughout the second half. Um, obviously that's no consolation at this point because the game's over and they won and you guys didn't. But how does it feel to know that you can do that, and what in the end, more than anything else, did you feel enabled them to come out on top tonight?
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered who we were playing tonight. I mean, we always feel like we can play against anybody and compete, and not only compete, win the game. And we didn't win the game tonight, but, I mean, like Coach said, we're not in the moral victories. But, I mean, from a player, I'm just proud of everybody that was in that locker room. And we gave it everything we had, and there was nothing left in the tank. We didn't hold anything in, didn't hold anything back, and we gave our toughest punch. So, yeah. So, excuse me?
It just kind of came down to execution at the end more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, they made their run, and, I mean, we fought back, and along with their defense, I mean, like you said, their length, they're close to the basket. I mean, we gave everything we had. So.
Monte, looking back at the season with all the adversity the teams faced with injuries and the way you guys fought, do you feel like this was kind of like a turning point for the program? Do you guys feel like you've turned the corner this year?
Yes. I think that I think we did face some adversity, and we had some setbacks, some injuries, and things like that. The reason I pause before answering is because I want to make sure that I don't discredit what these guys have done in terms of not blinking when we had adversity, not thinking about it one bit, just saying, okay, if there's 2 baskets in a ball and we have 5 guys to put out there, we expect to win. Did we have it? Yes, we had it, but these guys, you wouldn't know it by the way that they practice. You wouldn't know it by the way that they play every single day. They're extraordinary. They're really, really extraordinary. And if you walked into one of our practices and you would think that we started the year with whoever's in that practice. When you come into a game and watch us, you would think we started the year with who's ever in that game, because these guys, they don't, and I'm not going to give myself the credit, because watch, we say a lot of things as coaches. It's the players that execute the things that we say, and we talk to them about, look, we got no excuses. There are no excuses for anything. As long as there's 2 baskets of ball and we got 5 guys, we expect to win. And they've taken that and they've run like Forrest Gump with it. And it's been tremendous. And I think that's one of the reasons why they are such a joy to coach and a joy to be around. And, one of the things that I'll miss about these guys is, the bus rides. You form a certain bond and a certain camaraderie on bus rides, and they razz me and I razz them, and, we have a good time. We have a good time. But you can't do that if you don't have good people on your team and good high character people, and we have that. Thank you.